Hey Sagittarius, this is EJ from Taurota Tarot, getting ready to do your almost February into January Dig Deeper Love reading. We do a couple shuffles, and this is for Sagittarius Dig Deeper Love reading. I hope y'all had a good start to the new year or having a good start to this week. Of course, my day-to-day was just all shot for hell. So, threw that in the garbage and came home. And I will try again tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, job, something else. One more, Sagittarius, one more. And you'll notice I'm shuffling them backwards because they're trying to get a curve from shuffling them the same way so often. And I'm going to have to get another set of cards this week because I'm wearing these out quickly. All right, Sagittarius, 9-card spread, past, current, future energy, and 1 card for overall energy and 3 for guidance. Let's get it started. Let me cut you up. Yeah, come on, cards. All right. So our first card, and a reminder, I do my cards straight up. I don't do reversals. So the first card is a 10 of Wands. Second card is a Hangman. Third card is a 3 of Swords. And from underneath the deck, Sagittarius, your overall energy is the Magician. So let's see what we got going on for my Sag babies. I've been saying this about Sagittarius, even in the personal readings that I do. Oh man, poor Sagittarius, y'all just have been schlepping shit for everybody. You taking on your stuff, somebody else's stuff, and then somebody they know stuff, and then people across the street stuff. You have been doing too much, baby. You've been doing too much. When you see, in any deck pretty much, when you see any of the pages or nights, anybody toting around a bunch of shit, a lot of times it means you're taking on too much shit. So this is the energy that you're bringing kind of with you from 2018 into 2019. Your second card is the Hangman, which is, this card is telling me, in this position, it's saying that you need to look at things from a different perspective. However, Sag, this is telling me you need to slow down and you need to just stop for a second and get your bearing. Because it makes sense. If you're doing all of this, you're going too fast. Because if you're going at a slower pace, you realize you couldn't get all this shit done. But you're going so fast and trying to deal with so many people's stuff. You have been in a place, you probably may have slowed down right after the first of the year, but you came in just moving, and I think you're probably tired. The 3 of Swords in the third position, this card is speaking to me about hiding the pain you're in and separation, and you're separated from somebody, and this is not necessarily romantic, but this person provides some kind of support for you. It could be a sister, a brother, a cousin, a child, maybe a parent, but it's less authoritarian. So I'm not getting a mother or father or grandparents. This is somebody probably a little younger than you, someone you may have grown up with, like a sibling or a child. And they have, up until this point, been able to provide like emotional support for you, Sag, but they're gone. I don't know where they went to. Maybe they're traveling. Maybe they moved. Maybe they got a job somewhere else. Maybe they're in school. Could be a variety of things, but they're not near you now, and their physical absence is affecting you. On top of which, you're feeling all of this, and you've been feeling all of this, and you're hiding in your pain. That's bringing me back to this, making me think that maybe you're taking on all of this work and extra stuff because you're just trying to numb it out. Your overall energy being the Magician, usually it means about I'm sorry. Usually it means that you've got the tools and the resources to manifest whatever projects or personal relationships that you're working on. But in this instance, with the energy around it, it's telling me that you need to get a better understanding about what's going on in your life. That could be anything from maybe understanding if you're in a dating relationship that the relationship maybe is not as serious as you would like it to be, or as serious as you think it is. You're doing a lot of things, and this is not going to resonate with everybody, but I know it will with some. This may be a relatively new relationship, as in the last 6 months, and you may be thinking you're here and your partner is thinking y'all are here, and you're beginning to maybe think something is wrong. There's really not anything wrong from their perspective, because they're here and you've taken it here already. So I'm thinking that you need to slow down. You need to slow this down. And if this energy you're bringing in with you, and this is your overall energy, you need to slow down, and you probably need to look at the relationship without the rose-colored glasses on. And again, I don't necessarily see that the person is cheating or doing anything malicious, but they're just not where you are. So they're handling the relationship different. They're looking at it different. They're handling their friends different, because they're not fully committed. You're it, but they're not, they're not making all the sacrifices and the types of things you might be doing when you've been in a 2-year relationship. Let's see what the current energy is. 9 of Coins, Ace of Swords, and the Justice card. Off the rip, this is telling me that you have got to get some self-control. This is your current energy. And again, if you've been carrying around a lot of people's stuff, if you've been moving too fast and just at the speed of light, and if you're hiding in your pain, at some point you need to get some self-control. You can't just have your emotions all over the place, because if you're taking on a lot of people's stuff, that can have your emotions in a lot of different places, because their stuff is their stuff and not your stuff. So you're trying to understand why they did something, and why the hell do you have to clean it up, and you may feel like you need to carry all of it, and you really don't. If you were to walk away from it, or to let some of it go, it would be the same shit 10 years from now. This, you gotta have some self-control. You don't get a garden like that if you're sleeping until noon every day, or you forget to water the plants, or you forget to feed the turtles. If you don't have that kind of self-control, nothing would be living, nothing. So you gotta get some self-control. If you don't, you're gonna end up here, and you probably are here. I'm going to say, yeah, you're probably here now, where you are beginning to shut down. You don't want to talk about anything to anybody. You don't want to communicate with people outside of your romantic partner. And I think sometimes what we forget is when we get into relationships, and this will lend itself to the fact that you might be moving too fast in this relationship. But a lot of times you get into relationships and you may not want to, but you end up just, girl, no, I can't make it with you. I got to go over here because we say we're going to do da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, no, man, I can't make it because I told her we were going to do da-da-da-da-da. And sometimes when you're early on in a relationship, it is really kind of crucial to maintain your independent lifestyle, because it's at that point you start understanding how you can make things work. So if you do knitting circle every Thursday, and because you meet this person, you stop doing that, then you really aren't giving that person a chance to see exactly what you're about. And subsequently, start moving too fast, get all caught up, start hiding shit and being separated and all kind of other crazy. And that, when I say being separated, I don't mean just like I was saying, somebody's physically away from you, but then you also begin to just separate. You just start isolating and shutting things down. The Justice card is telling me that you don't have to take responsibility for anybody's actions. Now, I'm going to say this. If this person has made you feel like you should be on year 2 and you're still only on month 6, then that is a situation you're probably going to need to open up and have a little conversation about. Because if they have already started conversations about, oh, well, I was thinking about getting married, or, oh, I was wondering, thinking about having kids, you know, they're not really asking you anything. They're just kind of throwing the food up against the wall and see if the eggs or the ham are going to stick. And they may be just saying it to be coy or to be funny or cute or whatever the word is. You pick your word. But what it's doing to you is making you think, oh, well, they're here. Let me catch up. Let's start communicating. And let's stop taking responsibility, because you assuming that, you know, they're, even though they're throwing it out there, you're actually taking responsibility for what they're saying, you know, because you're taking them up on their word, and you're like, oh, he's talking about getting married. Well, let me just start poking around looking at wedding dresses. I mean, nothing serious. I'm just going to look. And that's how things happen, and that's how people get hurt. So if you've not had a very real conversation with this person, and this is the time to say, well, you know, I heard back at Christmas Eve and you were talking about moving in together, and I didn't know, were you referring to us, or was that just a comment you, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. I know a lot of people, male and female, feel really insecure and vulnerable when they throw their shit out there like that. But the thing is that you'd rather look insecure and vulnerable at that point than 2 years down the road with a whole bunch of issues and problems because you didn't have this conversation because you were worried about how you were going to look. So in order to keep from taking responsibility on some shit that you really aren't sure about, and all of this is, you know, you taking on other people's burdens and problems and shit because you want to be helpful, whatever the case may be, family, friend, or lover, this is not good for you. This is not good for you, and this will keep you in this kind of mixed thing of, is it really what I think it is, or do I need a better understanding of what's going on? And that's your overall energy. Let's see what the future energy has, see which way you're moving. Queen of Swords, Princess of Cups. Okay, it's right here, 8 of Coins. So Sag, you're already kind of on it, and I'm going to go back to the Justice card at the end of the last row about not making sure you don't take responsibility for anybody else's actions. As you do that, there's a flip side to that, and that it becomes the list of things that you don't do or you won't do or you just you're not doing. And so when I see the Queen of Swords and I have that kind of energy around it, it means this chick has sharpened it up. Her chalk is new and her erasers are clean. Get ready to tell you 1 through 5 of what you will and will not do in her classroom. And considering what I feel, this ain't a bad place to try to get to. Because if you need to communicate some things and maybe you're hesitant about talking about, you know, comments that have been made that are kind of giving you the overall energy of yeah, maybe I need a better understanding. When you start setting boundaries, when you start laying out rules of what, and understand, if you put it out there, you can always bring it back. If you say today, I'm not dealing with people that like purple, and then you find out some of the people you actually like purple, you can adjust that. And the same is true here. If, you know, you're coming out with, if he doesn't call me back when he says blah, 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 I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And that happens and you find out he couldn't because he got in a car accident or, you know, his phone was there, whatever. You can adjust. But you got to put something down to adjust. So I kind of get the feeling you guys are already moving in this direction, thinking about, well, you know what? Now, because you got to be tired. And you got to be thinking to yourself, oh, hell no. Hell no. No. And you want to put some of this shit down. So as you are thinking about that, it automatically becomes a rule. I told her I will no longer wash her clothes. I don't wash other people's clothes. Just like that. With that, you are also creating some emotional distance. Sag, whoever this is, a fire sign, maybe an air sign, it's not going to hurt you to put some emotional distance around this, especially if you need to gain some better understanding about what's going on, because you don't want to get all knee deep in the fishy bowl and happy and find out in a couple months maybe this isn't exactly what you thought it was, or come to find out the person that whoever this is beginning to get interested in someone else. So I'm telling you, the relationship is not where you think it is. Now, you need to have a conversation so you can find out where it is. But moving forward, I would put some space between it. I would be also hesitant that if somebody did something like this, and again, this is not going to resonate with every Sagittarius, but if somebody did do some crap like that, you know, just trying to play this little game of, you know, I've been thinking about getting married. You don't say stuff like that for no reason. You know, and if they blew it off and moved on, or if it, you know, we're talking about taking a vacation somewhere, just enough bait on the hook to just kind of reel you in and do it enough to have you moving in a certain direction. I'm questioning what their motives are for trying to even deal with you. Are they really serious? And with the communication card being dead center in the middle of this Ace of Swords, this is mandatory. You gotta say something, because, you know, man, don't get hurt because you don't say nothing. Please ask them, you know, where's your head? And if you're past the 2 or 3 month mark, that's not a bad question to ask. If people get married after knowing each other after 6 months. So I think the sooner you know things, especially if you're really interested in the person, and with all that you know at this point, they seem like a good fit, I'd be asking. But I'd also have in the back of my head, you know, why did you say that? What is that about? Really? You couldn't have said something else? You couldn't have just came out and said, you know, I like you and maybe one day I'd like to marry you? That would have made more sense. However, this is resonating, Sag. However, it's resonating. Let me see what we got for guidance from the universe. Ace of Wands. Whoa. 9 of Wands. Brain on fire. And the 3 of Coins. So universe is telling you to start doing this now. It's time to act. The Ace of Wands and the Simply Deep Tarot, that's the real meaning in the upright position. It is time to act. And that spark, that's the initial spark of creation. That's where the thought goes, doo, and then you go ahead and manifest it in action. It's time. The universe is telling you it's time, because you are kind of on the brink. If I see my colors correctly here, you're kind of on the brink of becoming really, really emotionally involved with this person at a level that is probably a little faster than you're used to. But again, if you're being led to believe something, or if you're seeing something and it's making you move in a certain direction, but you're not sure if you're standing on solid ground or not, now is the time to do what you need to do to find out what's going on. I don't want to say you're at that point where you need to just be direct. Should I stay or should I go? No, this is kind of like a fact-finding mission, a drop your luggage mission, quit hiding in your pain mission, get some self-control mission, with taking responsibility for everybody else's shit mission. Time to act. All of that is action stuff. The second card, the universe, is just asking you, do not get stuck with this in your brain. Don't get stuck on repeating whatever. Just don't. because it's going to keep you from seeing the real situation over here on the other side with this person. So don't let your thinking cause a setback, and that is the true meaning of this card in the upright position. Don't let your dwelling and thinking and pondering this situation cause you to basically get your brain on fire. It will keep you from knowing the truth over here, and probably cause some other problems as well. The Three of Coins, straight up, making plans. And this can go either way. It'll either be time to see how far the relationship is going to go, or how short it's going to be, one way or the other. Again, this is not that point, should I stay or should I go? This is fact finding. So you need to start looking at the whole picture. In the upright position, this is about manifesting projects. So I think that part of this can apply to advice. You just start making plans to manifest the kind of love you want. And if this is the person for you, if you think you can do this, and even with all this little extra shit going on as it applies to your situation, if you can get past that, how are we going to study and work to manifest this? Start making the plans. The universe is giving it to you straight up. I'm going to leave it there, Sag. I hope y'all have a good end of the week, a good weekend, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye, y'all.